Okay, so I have gone through and washed this board, and once again, you couldn't tell by looking at it, but the amount of dirt that came off of this board was really impressive. And these sockets were really dirty and nasty, and they cleaned up relatively nicely. They should be fine. And I've done a little inspection, and these right here, these sockets with the little gold plated tension, they just do not work well with these legs. Once these legs get a little nasty like this. But when you clean the silver plated customs, these actually make a pretty good contact with those, so I'm not going to replace these sockets. If it was a regular chip like this, maybe I would. I don't know, that one looks new. So if it was definitely a ROM, they do not make good connection with these ROMs once these legs are a little nasty. So, but cleaned silver plated chips, it's generally pretty good. But there is one bad socket, clearly bad socket on this board, and it's right here. You can see damaged pins on both sides here. Yeah, see how that one's damaged like that, and this one's damaged. So that socket has to be replaced. That's the only one that's really damaged. So I'll replace that socket, and this actually looks really good up here. I don't see, there's maybe a little on right here, a little bit of green, maybe, which that can be taken care of a little bit. This is fine though. There is really, this is a nice undamaged board, which is nice. But I can remove these tabs on the back side and get them tabs out of there and then clean the top side of it. So I'll do that. Replace that socket, clean up here a little bit, and then repopulate this guy. So we'll do that. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have cleaned up this area down to some bare copper. I'm going to re-tin that with my tin solder, my tin bit. I've got my tin solder bit ready to go. So we're going to tin all of this. Everything that I've exposed, I'm going to re-tin good. And I got this socket removed. That socket came out nicely. So I'll put a new socket in there, re-tin this stuff, and I have a battery that I'm going to put in. I'm going to solder a coin cell onto here. So we will have a battery. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright, and I see where I've tinned all of that kind of stuff. Tinned all of that. And I have my battery installed here. There's the ground right there, and then the positive goes right there. And we come over here and view over. Okay, and on that 6116 RAM right next to the CPU, we have now 3.3 volts. 6116 is a CMOS part, so that is CMOS, whatever you want to call it, CMOS. So that is plenty to keep that chip powered. Yeah, excellent. And when you install this coin battery here, I just kind of, when I was soldering the ground, I kind of placed it up so it's off of this resistor, because that whole bottom side is ground. So just make sure it's not touching anything and you're good to go. So let me solder this socket into the board and this thing will be done. Okay, we are hooked back up. And I want to do just one more check on the CPU board as far as polarity before I turn it on. Oh, I got to put this ROM in it. This is my, if I can explain this, this is a bad chip, a 28-pin chip that I use because I have a bunch of slimline 28 sockets, and I use this to form it the way I want it when I solder it. And I have to I use that to just to hold them the way that I want it. Then I solder them, then I remove it and put the real chip in. I haven't even put the chip in yet. But let's do a quick polarity check. Make sure pin 1 is where it needs to be on all of the customs. That's pin 1 on that customs. Notches all the right way. Notch. Alright, let me put this ROM in and we'll fire it up. Alright, now I have the real ROM chip in the board right there. That guy. All polarity is correct on everything, so let's go ahead and fire it up. Sounds good. We'll wait for the monitor. Here it comes. Monitor's coming up. Yeah, it looks good. That is a solid pole position 2 board set right there. So I will hook up my, Okay, we'll have to figure what is up with that. We'll have to monitor this and see if it keeps doing that, what's going on. So I will do that. Yep, there it goes. It's resetting again. It was not doing that before. Interesting. I'm going to turn it off and start it and test. Something weird's going on. RAM okay, ROM okay. The only thing I can think of that is different is I put the battery in it. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Let's take it out of test and watch it through a cycle. Okay. It looks like at the same position it's resetting every time. Turn to go to the straight, pass tango. And it looks like at a let's look at it one more time. And you pass tango, the tango sign, and then what looks like a Marlboro sign comes by, and that's where it resets. So we'll take a look. You know, it straightens up, you pass a tango sign on the right, and now comes a Marlboro looking sign and it resets. Yeah, it's something that is it looks like a Winston cigarette sign, amazingly enough, in a video game. When it straightens up, you'll see the tango sign on the right. Okay, now you'll see a tango sign on the right and what looks like a Winston sign on the left and a reset right here. So that's got to be ROM, I would think. It's either ROM or it's a custom. That has to be a ROM problem. So let me just make sure everything is in the way that it's supposed to be one more time. Maybe I have a pin out of socket or something's going on. That's definitely systematic. It's the same thing every time, which is good. It's not random, so it should be easier to find. So it's on the CPU board. So let me take a look. Well, I thought this was a good opportunity to repair one of my pole position boards. Because I have, over the last couple of years, bought a couple non-working set of pole position boards. And if you remember, the pole position board would reset once your guide exploded. The game would reset. And I wanted to know, is that my video board or is that the CPU board causing that problem? And the easiest way to do that was to fix one of my CPU boards, and that's exactly what I did. This I had to totally clean this area up. This chip was replaced, this was replaced, all of this whole section was replaced. And I've got it tinned. You know, I sanded it down and I tinned everything. There's a couple trace repairs on the back. There's a couple trace repairs on the back. Yeah. This it's working. No resetting. So yeah, my CPU board is good, and that tells me that, I mean, that so narrows it down what's wrong with this board. The CPU board has some kind of a decoding error. When the CPU is trying to enable something, it's not happening. So there's something up with that board. But yeah, this is awesome. I'm really happy about this. I got myself a pole position board. I got all of the battery junk off of it. Tinned the bare copper good. Sweet. I don't have a working video board, but now I know I have a working CPU board, so I can go at the video board knowing that this thing's good to go. It's awesome. Yeah, cool. All right, I'm gonna go ahead get this out of here and put the customer's CPU board back on here. This is the customer's video board. His video board's good, so we'll fix his we'll fix that CPU board there. I have this is my video board right here. It's got issues, but all right, cool. Well, I just decided to try two new Z8002s, and it seems to be working. It looks like one of those went bad. You'll see now it'll do what it's supposed to do. Boy, that's unfortunate. I don't have a lot of those. So apparently those Z8002s can be partially working. So you know what to look for if you see a reset at that screen switch. It could be one of those processors. Alright, I'm going to deduct and find out which one of these is actually bad. These two guys. One of them's actually bad. So, alright, we'll figure it out. Alright, I've discovered something kind of strange. These are the original, I got the original Z8002s back in the board. And you'll see it does the reset thing. Alright. Now I am just going to simply swap them. I'm going to put this one over here and this one over here. And actually, I'll do it live in real time. You'll see it resets. And we'll do it twice. It'll reset twice. I'll just let it roll through. Here we go. Reset. Okay. Now these Z8002s, I don't understand why this one, I mean you swap them and it won't reset. It's weird. Okay. Now I'll just, set the camera down. Put the camera on the tripod. And I'll come in here, turn it off. And I'll swap these CPUs. And this is not a socket thing. It's not the sockets, it's the chip. There must be, I don't know. I don't know why this one does not work over here. Okay, now turn it on. And with them swapped, it will not reset. Very strange. This one right here. Get something to. You know what? Let me put this back up here again. Okay. And it does not reset. This is Z8002. And 8002. Yeah, I don't know. As far as I know, they're the same chip, but this one will not work over here. It's weird. I don't know. I don't get it. But that's just the way it is. That had to have been how it was when I got it. That had to have been how it was when I got it, and it was working. When I took it apart and cleaned it all, put it back together, I must have swapped the Z8002s in the different spot, and then it didn't work. And I was like, "What in the world?" All I did was took it apart and cleaned it up, and got my battery. This is nice over here. I like this battery. And I reconditioned these sockets. The sockets looked okay. I don't like these sockets, but I had to replace one of them. But I reconditioned the other ones. I cleaned them good. They were shiny. They were metal shiny, so they weren't bad and corroded. Now you just used some of that CRC electronics lubricant, brushed it in there, and now I just kind of, get some of the excess off of these chips a little bit. Just an alcohol pad here. That's no big deal. Yeah. This one's done. This one's done, and it's nice. Just get that excess stuff off of these chips a little bit. Just a wipe. Just wipe them a little bit. No big deal. Yeah. Nice. All right. Pole position 2. Yeah, just keep that in mind, though, if you're working on a pole position and it's getting that reset thing. It could be your CPU. This one, it's got... I'm not going to say it has more going on. I don't know. This one just does not work over here for whatever reason, and I don't know. I mean, you look at the schematic. The schematic is the same for these CPUs. So this one, the timing's a little different or whatever. This chip is internally is not up to par, I don't think, and it just does not function as well on this side for whatever reason. I don't have an explanation for that at all, to be honest. But it's working, and it's working the way it should. It looks great, and yeah, I think I will do a little play test and wrap this up with a little play test. Alright, I've been messing around playing this a little bit and just trying to figure out what I'm doing. I have it pretty much, I'm starting in second gear because I don't want to be trying to switch gears or whatnot. I might mess around with it, but I'm basically starting in high gear. And I'm starting with the gas pedal all the way depressed so that I don't have to mess around with the gas. So, here we go. Let's go to the test track. Damn it. I'm going low gear. All right. I got my initials in there. High score of 18,000. And we can test and make sure. I'll come out here tomorrow and turn it on and see if save the scores. Well, let's do it right now. How about that? Let me go turn the light on really quick. I'll be right back. All right, yes, I've got it turned off right now. I'm just gonna, I'm curious to see whether this thing's holding high scores. So let me switch it on. We are on again. And we'll just watch it and see if it's got high scores up that I put up. I put some nonsense scores up. Hey, my top score, 18,470 is up there. It is saving scores. Awesome. Yeah, there's my scores. Cool. Yeah. Excellent. That is a successful test. So, I went through, I washed both of these boards thoroughly. They were both, I mean, dirty doesn't even describe it. The dirt that came off of these was unreal. But, yes, so that, cleaned and reconditioned the sockets, replaced this one, cleaned up here, you know, in this area. I sanded away the battery damage, whatever battery damage there was. There wasn't a lot, but I got rid of what there was. Retinned. That's about it on this board, I think. Oh, the edge repair. And on the back board, I'm not going to turn it over, but yeah, on the back board. Well, let me turn it off. Let's do this. And come up here. Okay. Replaced this bipolar ROM. If you remember, it was mangled. Did a lot of trace repair on that. Reprogrammed this ROM right here. The file was bad. So that would have been a graphics glitch. This ROM I reprogrammed with the updated 231 file. Of course, this board was washed really good. Sockets reconditioned, all that kind of normal stuff. These standoffs, I put nice standoffs on it. And that's about it. I resocketed these. These guys right here, those sockets, I did not like those sockets, so I just removed them and replaced them. That's about it. Clean, clean, clean. Recondition. Yep. Boy, this set gets warm. This is a pretty warm running set. Pole position. Such a cool game. Yeah. Yeah, my score's still up there. All right. Yeah, that works good. Well, that is going to do it for this one. It is late tonight, so tomorrow I'll do a run test on this thing. I'll let it run for at least 3 hours. And that'll do it. That'll do it for this one. So as always, thanks for watching. And we'll see you on the next Classic Arcade Repair. Bye for now.